Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. This evening we are talking lack of food and profiteering. So, my thought process on this started when the bank put the interest rates up again. And they're saying that it's because inflation's not coming down the way it should. And the reason inflation's not coming down the way it should is because of the food costs. The food costs are stubbornly high. Funnily enough, I'm not thinking it's the farmers that are making the profit here. So off a jolly well trots. And most recently, the April figures show that the input cost for businesses has risen by 3.9%. So that's what it costs them to buy in all the stuff, mix it together and make something. The output costs, however, are not 3.9%. They have increased by 5.4%. And according to this report that I read, it's thousands of companies have improved their profit margins at customers' expense. Now, I think we all knew that when we saw the oil companies' profits, when we saw the supermarkets' profits, etc., etc. Everyone that is selling stuff seems to be making a profit, apart from normal people. You know, like your small shop owner, they're not making a huge profit. Your pub owner, he's not making a huge profit. The people who supply his beer or his food, yeah, they are. Us on the street, we're not getting any more benefit for our money. So that was a kind of, not impressed with this. So then I found a report with Farmers Weekly, and they were talking about food hubs. And what they want to do, they've sent a letter to DEFRA Farming Minister, a whole lot of organisations, and they've said they want the department to help establish 15 new regional food hubs. Okay, what does this mean? But you know, it's farmers, so let's go and see what they need. Now, the whole point of the food hub is to create a fairer supply chain. Now, I'm sure we've all heard about the supermarket supply chain when, you know, every new person in the department that brings in the food tries to get a few pence off or something so that they can say, look what I did, I was so clever. And it's the poor farmer that suffers and us that suffer. You know, whether the farmer's price per pint of milk goes down or the price that we in the supermarket pay goes up, supermarket seems to benefit both ways. So these regional food hubs, which seemingly they've done in Wales and they've worked quite well, and it's an enterprise that buys food from local farmers, so it's a lot shorter food miles, they don't have to travel as much, and then they sort, package and sell it to local retailers, hospitality and public service providers. So I'm like, oh, I quite like the thought of that. So that would be, instead of stuff coming from all over the country to go all over the country and crisscrossing each other, it's, you know, we'll do it more regional, so the food miles will be shorter. And I was like, that seems like a good idea to me. And I know I'm saying only here, but when you think of the millions that this government has lost on stupid plans, it's only £150,000 to set up one of these hubs to get the big warehouse space. And that will serve 10,000 households. So that's a lot of households for that 150,000. So, you know, and to bring it that it's shorter food miles and it cuts out the middleman. And I was like, I think that's a really good idea. Because then I took a look at Neil McCoy Ward's thing today, and I hadn't noticed. How I missed this, I do not know, because normally I troll the news quite religiously. Netherlands is making farmers sell up their farms because the nitrogen emissions are too high. And then he showed you on a world map, nitrogen emissions for the Netherlands are like 11 million tonnes. China is 460 million tonnes. And yet Netherlands government and the EU starting to look at it as well are forcing farmers to stop breeding livestock because of the nitrogen emissions. They're actually going to, the farmers have a choice. They can voluntarily sell their farm to the government, or they can get compulsory purchased. And once they've done that, they're not allowed to start a farming business again within that country or within the EU. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Can you feel the chain tightening around your neck as they dangle us from their fingers? Netherlands' nitrogen emissions are negligible compared to the US, compared to China, compared to even per capita, as in nothing to do with the size of the country, but it's still negligible. And yet these rules are coming in that say, oh, we're not going to. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but isn't the world's population increasing? I know in Europe and China, the birth rate is going down because younger people are not stupid enough to have a lot of kids because it costs them a fortune. But the population as a whole is still increasing. And we're wiping out farmers? Are you mad? What is that about? So yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. Not that it matters me saying that I'm not happy, but just so you know. So between companies profiteering at food costs and food production facilities reducing, and don't even start me on how many food production facilities in the States have come with unfortunate incidents recently, I think we need to grow more. We definitely need to grow more. We need to work out how to do chickens. We need to be able to look after ourselves more. Because imagine what happens if the government where you are suddenly decides that 50% of the farming production needs to be cut. I mean, I have no words. So, yeah, that's my thing for today. I'm absolutely shocked and shooketh. So, yeah, definitely something to think about of what can we preserve, how long can we preserve it, and how well can we grow things so that we're not dependent on these governments that are making arbitrary decisions on our behalf. Right, more tea. Catch you later.